Botman. Morning all. Out on the car at the minute, obviously. Last night, yesterday afternoon, evening, whatever it was, Newcastle announced their new signing in Sven Botman from Lille. The 22-year-old defender has penned a 5-year contract. Initially, it was called an undisclosed fee. We all knew it was going to be, the rumours for weeks have been about £35 million. Turns out it's £32.5 million, 32 million initially, and then a £2.5 million add-ons. I imagine that's going to be in appearances, clean sheets. I don't know what will dictate the add-ons, but we have signed the 6'4", 22-year-old Dutch defender. As I say, he has penned a 5-year deal. Finally, this one's been going on for some time. When the new ownership come in, and with the January transfer window on the horizon, Sven Botman was the first name that was spoken about. He was the first one that we targeted. After that, our centre-back options, sort of, we went down to, and this is no disrespect because he's done superbly since, but third choice in Dan Burn. Obviously, we wanted Sven Botman at first, then it changed to Diego Carlos, and we got mucked around by Sevilla time and time again for Diego Carlos. However, we have now got our man, as I say, 22-year-old young player, highly rated. He's not a regular in the Dutch national side as of yet. However, a good start to the season with us could result in him playing, fighting for a starting place at the World Cup. I don't know an awful lot about the Dutch national team. I imagine they play with a flat back four. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk has to be your number one centre half. Then I imagine Matthijs de Ligt is second. Obviously, young player, good experience for his age, went on that good run with Ajax in the Champions League, and has since been playing for Juventus for 2 or 3 seasons now. I know initially he didn't like the world up at Juventus, but just being around the likes of Bonucci, Chiellini, and just Italian coaching for defenders would have benefited him. So I imagine he's ahead in the pecking order. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Sven Botman, great to see him. I should also say, talking of Italian football, we picked AC Milan to the post for this player. I think AC Milan would probably have been his preferred choice, but it's since come out, since he touched down in Newcastle for his medical, that he always wanted to go to Newcastle in January, and that Lille prevented such a move from happening, that he wanted to go. Obviously, AC Milan are a much bigger club than Newcastle United. Their European pedigree, I think it's 5 or 6 times, it might be 6 or 7, times they've won the European Cup. The Rossoneri, that they are up there with Juventus and Inter as the superpowers in Italy. And let's not forget, they have just won. They've just climbed the mountain to win Serie A. So they are the current Italian champions. And a player that they really wanted has come to us instead. Now, what are the reasons for that? From what I understand, AC Milan are going through a takeover process at the minute. So any big money signings would have been halted, put on the back burner, until it's decided who's responsible, whose money it is. That money's not going to be spent, is it? And also, we all know that Italian football clubs don't have the massive money to spend that they did previously. You look at the likes of Lukaku, why he went back to Chelsea last season for under £1 million. They drove the price of that because they needed the money. He had to part ways. Conte left Inter Milan because they didn't have money to spend, etc. So they're the factors. However, as disadvantaged and as crippled as AC Milan's bid to sign Sven Botman may have been, he is still happy to be at Newcastle. Newcastle have acted decisively and got their man, like I said. They've walked away from certain transfers. You know, we've not been held over a barrel. You look at Diego Carlos, for example, being mucked around by him and Sevilla. In the end, we said, you know what, it's not worth our time. We're gonna leave this one. I imagine the same is gonna happen with the young striker from Rennes in France, Hugo Ekitike, or Etikite, whatever it is. Talented young player, obviously. His agent is saying that PSG are interested. PSG are not interested. It's just trying to drive the price up there. And the goalposts keep moving. So I imagine we might walk away from that one. But that might be one that we revisit in January, if he's still at the club. Personally, I know this video is about Botman, but just quickly on Hugo. His talent is obvious, but I don't think he's shown enough to warrant a £40 million buy, or I think someone in France said that they wouldn't take any less than 50 million quid. You know, we're getting silly money here for a 20-year-old player who I don't think hit double figures in goals last season. But Sven Botman, as I've said, has been the long-term target. He has been the one that we've really wanted. We really tried in January. It didn't happen. AC Milan registered their interest in January as well. I don't think they went as heavy for him in January as we did, but they registered their interest. And since then, Milan have been sat at the table alongside Newcastle for this player. So again, take away Milan's financial constraints and their ownership issues. If this player wanted to go to AC Milan, I'm sure he could have waited. Lille could have waited. They could have used Newcastle to drive the price up a little bit, because I'm sure that AC Milan, once they're taken over, despite the constraints in Italian football with transfer fees, I'm sure they'll be able to afford £35 million, or the equivalent in euros is probably about 42 million euro ish. Fantastic to see him. I don't know if he's been given a shirt number yet. I imagine he'll be given number 4, because he wore number 4 at Lille. Everywhere you see, like, all the suggestions are he'll have the number 4. Now, the number 4 shirt was occupied by Matty Longstaff at the start of last season, who went out on loan to Morecambe. So I imagine, because he's been on loan, obviously he's out the way for a minute. He's going to come back at some point. But number 4 is quite an integral number, isn't it? You look at Van Dijk. What other famous number 4? Sergio Ramos. You know, they're just two defenders. Stevie G, when he used to play for England, was always number 4. And if that's the shirt he wants, you know, it's the first time we've spent that amount of money on a centre half. You know, you look at the two players that broke our transfer record in the last few years. Obviously, the long-standing record I'm talking about is Michael Owen, which stood from 2005 till 2019, so nearly 15 years. Joe Linton we signed for 40 million quid. He was a striker. His transition in midfield, but we signed him as a striker, as a forward player, as one of your flair players. Miggy Almiron. Sorry, I've totally forgotten about Miggy Almiron. Miggy Almiron was signed in 2019 for 24 million quid, breaking Michael Owen's record. So that was a 13-year reign of fucking Owen's record as a transfer. Miggy Almiron again. He's played more as a winger for us, but for Paraguay, for his nation, his country, and for Atalanta United, or wherever he played for, he was a number 10, again a playmaker, a flair player. So to spend an amount, which is pretty much it in between those two amounts, on a defender, a centre-back, is great. I'm a big believer I've always said that defenders are undervalued in the transfer market. You know, people like Virgil van Dijk have done a lot to raise that status, you know, with the impact he had coming to Liverpool, and how he and Alisson Becker have transformed Liverpool from the Nurley team to a team that is, you know, the champions of England, champions of Europe, etc. But Botman, great signing. He's probably the best defender that we've signed, I would say, since Jonathan Woodgate. When I do my Newcastle 11s for a bit of banter with my brother or mates and people, work colleagues, etc., there's a video on this channel of my brother's a Liverpool fan. He did a Liverpool 11 since he's been supporting Liverpool, and I did a Newcastle 11 since I've been supporting Newcastle. And I think I put Jonathan Woodgate in there, even though I started supporting Newcastle in the 05-06 season, or possibly the 06-07 season. Properly the 06-07 season, I think. But he always goes in, and it's usually alongside Fabrizio Colaccini. Now, Colaccini was a terrific player on his day, and when we finished 5th that season, he was incredible, and rightly so, got the PFA Team of the Year. But Sven Botman is a cut above him, I've got to say. You look at all the centre-backs we've had since then. Fabian Schär does well on his day. Dan Burn did really well last season. But to sign a big player like that a team like AC Milan wanted is terrific. I'm so pleased. Key stats, as I've said, 35 million quid, 32 35 million quid, 32 initial, then I think it's 2.5 add-ons, then there'll probably be another little bit to make up the numbers. 5-year contract, 22-year-old player, highly rated, came through the Ajax Academy, plays regularly for the Dutch under-23s, or under-21s, because I know you can have a couple of players that are slightly over. He's in the plans long-term for the Dutch national team. Recently won the league with Lille. As I said, come through the Ajax Academy. Now that says so much. Centre-backs now are being asked more and more to play like midfield players. I'm more a believer of you need to be able to defend first and then do your nice passing and your long balls and all this malarkey. That's when it really used to piss me off, when David Luiz only used to play for Chelsea and Arsenal. Now I've got no interest in Chelsea or Arsenal, but it used to really annoy me when you'd see him fuck up at the back and then line up to take a free kick, and he's doing like this routine, and the commentators are saying, oh, he practices X amount of free kicks per training session. Like, well, if you're a defender, you need to learn how to fucking defend first, really. But by the by, the new defenders and modern defenders are being asked to pass more and more and be more and more comfortable on the ball. Dan Burn is a lot more comfortable than I thought he'd be. Fabian Schär is obviously confident on the ball, sometimes a bit too much in my opinion. So Sven Botman, if he's come through the Ajax Academy, it's all about total football, passing, probably an equivalent to what you would say the Liverpool Academy used to be, you know, built on the foundations of pass and move. So he's obviously comfortable on the ball. Can't wait to see him play. There's going to be big questions about who's going to start, because he looks set with the four-man defence, a flat back four, and Dan Burn doesn't deserve to be dropped. Quality-wise, you'd probably drop Schär to get Botman in if you really had to. However, Schär is a right-footed centre-back. Botman and Dan Burn are both left-footed centre-halves. So that logic would pertain to Botman being in alongside Fabian Schär. Dan Burn does not deserve to be dropped. However, pre-season, start of a new season, fresh start, shirts are up for grabs, competition is what it's all about, is what we need. Hence why Nick Pope's been brought in. I've heard rumours about Rafinha coming in. I was out in the car yesterday listening to Shay Given on TalkSport with Darren Bent and is it Laura Woods? The two of them are brilliant together, by the way, Laura and Darren Bent. And Shay Given, this was about 10 o'clock in the morning, similar, well, about an hour ago yesterday. And Shay Given said Rafinha. Then I've had people text me saying, oh, what about Rafinha? Apparently Newcastle are in a bidding war for him. But as I was saying to a friend of mine yesterday, if they're going to be asking 60 million for it, you know, we all know that prices go up the further you got the pitch. And if Calvin Phillips as a defensive midfield player has been signed for 42, 45 million quid, Rafinha's going to be 60, 65. We can't afford that. Technically we can, but financial fair play, you know, we've already spent 15 million on that target, 10 million on Pope, and 35 on Sven Botman. So already we're up 60 million quid, you know, and we need a striker in as well. Strikers are absolute premium. So if we went, say, 60 million for Rafinha, we're probably going to have to spend 30, 40 to get a decent striker in. Such is the inflation nowadays. Next thing, you're looking at 150 million quid. It's a lot of money. But we shall see. We shall see. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Sven Botman at the tune. Our new number 4. Please, cracking signing. 35 mil. Really happy. It's the first summer transfer window that I've enjoyed for a long time. You know, just the whole way we're going about things is just so much more positive and brilliant, and it brings hope for the future. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Sign up for the notifications. Ding-a-ling-ling. See you later. Thank you.